morning, guys. So I want to thank everybody that made it last week to our adventure. Greg's not here, but he had a wonderful tour of the theater and its apartment and the murder basement. Did anybody actually
Good morning, all. I hope you had a good time.
Okay, you made it. I chickened out, so thank you. Well, as she's getting here, we'll go through. Let's welcome our visiting interactors and outgoing exchange students. And fellow club members, I have William from the Centro del Pueblo. He is our speaker today, and we'll hear more from him in a few minutes. And we might be speaking to you shortly, as you have to. Okay, cool. And then that's Terri.
So that was my mom. She died on Tuesday. My parents got married in 1951, and I think that picture was taken about 1958 or 59. It's Christmas, as you can tell, because everybody had that tinsel that kills cats if they eat it, but we didn't have any cats, so that was good. It was allergy. Anyway, so she and my dad both had a hard start to their lives, and then they had a really good life in between. My dad was in the Navy 34 years. They traveled the world, had 5 kids, 4 grandkids, 3 great-grandchildren. And then the last couple of years of each of their lives really stank. Because dementia and Alzheimer's is a truly, truly wicked disease. Anyway, that's what I got.
So keep an eye out. There's a card going around if you'd like to. Let's skip straight to the presentation. If Jessica or Shoshana wants to do the introduction.
Did you send over a slideshow? Okay, great.
I was just playing the introduction. I'm so excited that the Centro del Pueblo is able to do this, and Frances, I'm a little person. I'm Terri.
Yeah.
I guess so much for all the work you do, and it's wonderful to have you too.
Thank you so much.
And then just the down arrow.
So yeah, I'm Willy. But first 6 kids, so or last 6 kids, so little Willy. And I've been a volunteer with Centro del Pueblo for going on 7 years, and we've done a lot of things to improve the community for Latinx population here. It started 2016 to make Arcata a sanctuary city, and it really was just about these women getting together and deciding they wanted to improve their lives here. That was the start of it. We went from sanctuary city in Arcata, which was passed through city council, to a countywide ballot measure to make Humboldt County the first sanctuary county that has gone through a ballot measure. It's the first in the United States, and it's real important kind of landmark. Showing that the people want that. Central started, and the sanctuary garden here was a project to get people outside, because a lot of the Latinx population, they just go to work, they go home, they're afraid to go outside because of racism, the community here is not very well. You know, the majority white community is just hard for them to get past the idea of the federal government can after. And so this is a great way for them to take their children outside playing to reconnect with the earth. And that's a big part of traditional culture is farming, and the foods that we eat are really important to that.
All right. Let's see what we got here. Okay. How are you doing it?
Oh, just down button.
Down button? Okay.
So the sanctuary garden is on 11th and F here. So the project with Cooperation Humboldt and Centro del Pueblo, this is the garden space that was abandoned back in, well, I don't remember, maybe 2015, 2016, you know, abandoned. Needs to be a project of open door, but they stepped away from it. So in 2021, Cooperation Humboldt and Centro del Pueblo started the sanctuary garden, Jardín Sanctuario. Cooperation Humboldt did a lot of the paperwork because Centro del Pueblo was just a grassroots organization with very little actual, ability to do paperwork and very time-consuming stuff. So here is a photo of the event. I was excited to leave the end of 2021. This is also another project called Hermana Flor, where indigenous women get to practice their traditional dances from Oaxaca and wherever they're from. Pretty amazing. There's a space where they can reinvent themselves as who they are without any here. What else about the garden? So since 2021, Centro del Pueblo has been managing the garden. Cooperation Humboldt has been supplying like a truck or just basic things that we need to get rid of trash or good things, doing all the interacting with the church. But in this last year, since September, they haven't really been present. So we've been taking over all the the managerial stuff that's involved with having a garden space and renting and the insurance and paying the water bill. So the garden produces food and flowers right now. I mean, winter, so there's not a lot of food and flowers, but we have broccolis and cauliflowers. We have the garlics and onions. So those are all still being produced, and it gives the indigenous migrant community a chance to grow things that they're familiar with. The corn, the flowers that they like, the cempasúchil, what they're called, but they're marigolds. And those are a real important flower for Dia de los Muertos, which is the day where you remember your family members and your ancestors, and you come back from the underworld to come visit you and be present with you. So you offer them food and flowers and drinks and celebrate for two days. End of November. There's all sorts of foods that you would not see normally. The corn is, traditional corn from Mexico. It's all different colors. So it's real tall or real short. It's really quite impressive to see the seeds that people have brought with them from Mexico and Latin America. We have potatoes from Peru and Chile. It's really nice to see things that aren't normally found in a garden. So we do supply flowers to the community, first and foremost for Dia de los Muertos or celebrations, but we also have been supplying Puente Nueve School here in Arcata, which is a bilingual elementary school. Spanish. And, you know, Dallas Bernie and pretty much anybody who needed them. So the community gardens, we asked them to see. It's all run by volunteers and, you know, just a little bit of oversight from the director, Brenda. It's also my wife, by the way.
So on March 4th will be, what's going on March 4th from 10 to 12? That's Saturday. So this is just a little slideshow, a slide of when we have volunteer hours. If anybody ever wants to just come to the garden, it's 10 to 12 on Saturdays. For the most part, that's just, you know, the one day during the winter. In a couple of months, probably middle of April, we'll be opening up a second day on Wednesday to have more people volunteer and garden and plant and take care, because we're going to need more help.
You know what time?
I believe it's 12 to 4. So it's usually a little more hours. I'm not 100% if it's going to be the same as it was the last 2 years, but that's what it was before. So we have had some kickback from the community that does not appreciate the Latinx having a space where they're outside, where they're participating in the community, where people can gather. And so we've had quite a bit of vandalism in the last year. There's 5 pretty big acts of vandalism, from, you know, spray painting the sign to tearing up the corn to, you know, locking the gate. Just a lot of things have happened, but we've been working on security. I believe the Rotary Club has put together some money to help provide for security cameras or security. So thank you all for helping out with that. And one thing we have recently done is the house that came up for rent next door. Me and Brenda and I have rented it. So we're pretty much going to be this, we're security now as well as moving in. So it allowed us to be present, and, you know, when we hear things in the garden, we can go out there. But it's also just this last week, we finally got settled in, and I went and bought a nice security system from Costco, the Arlo security. It's got a pretty long range, so it reaches all the way to the garden from the house. So I put up 3 cameras, and I also have a trail cam up there, just kind of hiding out. I'm thinking of, you know, removing that just because we have the better security system now, but we can move that to, you know, we're a different garden when we decide to open one, which hopefully will be in Eureka sometime this year. So yeah, this is the first act of vandalism. Somebody spray painted the sign with the black and wrote America USA over it. You know, not necessarily an act of hatred, but, you know, it's pretty obvious that's what the intention was, that, you know, what, you know, the Latinx community and the indigenous community wasn't welcome. So this one was pretty drastic. The city of Arcata is still investigating it. We keep reporting every time something happens, but luckily the sign had a nice cover on it, and we were able to wipe it off with some goof off and get it cleaned up. So, you know, this is just another act of vandalism. This was I believe the second time where they chopped down a bunch of corn. These acts are really just, it's disheartening to the community to see that there's people out there that are, you know, still feeling this internalized disgust or hatred with a community that is just trying to do better for themselves and their families and provide some sort of normalcy in an already hard life. This one happened in December. Somebody just decided to, go ahead and push down our kiosk. And, all these things, they take time to fix, and, it's disheartening to the community. So we, reinforced it, buried it in the ground, and, put a bunch of concrete. So now it's extra sturdy, but something we didn't want to deal with. It's just the repeated behaviors. The most recent acts have been kind of, a lot less damaging, but also a little more malicious. They've been locking the gates. Just keep locking the gates. Like every couple of weeks, they were just adding a new lock. And it's kind of led to this feeling that, you're not welcome. It's another barrier for you. Of all the barriers that immigrant community faces coming to the United States and trying to, build a better life for their family, and to be happy here. They face a lot of barriers. Be it trying to just get here, to walk here, to be here with family. And it just feels like just one more barrier. And it goes all the way back to, just if you wanted to become normalized, become naturalized, it's a very long process, and it's very time consuming and very expensive. It probably costs $7,000-8,000. If you're lucky and you were to marry a U.S. citizen, it would still take you 5-6 years. It's not something easy. If you're just trying to be normalized, be naturalized on your own, it can take upwards of 20 years. It's just, the process is just impossible to get through. So that's a big hurdle. And locking the gate is just another barrier, and it hurts. So the city of Arcata put out after the last vandalism in 2022, put out a little notice saying that they support Centro del Pueblo. They support having, a diverse culture and providing spaces for people to flourish, which is really, that's a big deal to come from the city, to say that they're in support, to, offer their help and solutions. So that was good. With all these acts of vandalism, there's been good things that come out of it. The community comes together. They are showing a lot of support, and the garden has a lot of visitors, and it's, there's always that silver lining to things. You always try to look on the, on the happy side of things. At least I do. So here we go. We're all putting the kiosk back together. Some volunteers went ahead and, some carpenters went ahead and fixed the roof and got it all back on tip-top shape. So, just lots of things. This one was about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. That's kind of what gave me the urgency to go get the security system. I was like, you know what, the trail cam didn't catch it. So luckily this was just water-based paint. So we just scrubbed it off. Some of the things we do, we now have the cameras. We have people that, they live close by. They look out their window and see the garden, see if anybody is over there. That's the neighborhood watch group. We do events, like that first slide you saw with the Hermana Flor doing the dances in the traditional clothing and traditional music. We've had events where we've had like little tianguis, little flea markets where people can bring the things that they make and sell them to the community or trade them for things. Know Your Right workshops, which is one of the main programs of Centro del Pueblo. It's kind of what started the whole thing, is people needed to know what their rights are so they're not afraid. And that kind of leads into everything that Centro does for the community. It started as a grassroots organization to empower the Latinx community, and that started with knowing your rights and knowing when you can say no, knowing when you have to, do something. So knowing your rights is really important. We are trying to expand on that, trying to write grants for getting an immigration lawyer up here, because the closest one is in San Francisco. And so it's really difficult to have people just access these things. You know, they have to take time off work. They work 6 days a week, and you know, it's impossible for them to take days off. So there's lots of things we're trying to improve. It's all based on the community. So here's the new security system showing the cameras. Looks pretty good. Yeah, we're real happy with it. I was a little worried about it not reaching because it's about 200 feet from the house. So the service isn't the best, but it's working. So that's what's important. And we haven't had any acts of vandalism since I put the cameras up. I'm hoping it just works as a deterrent. And you know, we'd love to catch them, but if they don't do it again, then you know, that's great too. You know, I got the night camera. I have seen a couple of skunks set it off, so I know it works. This is, you know, a recent picture. I think it was last week, the group of volunteers. So you can see you know, even it was Saturday, you know, it was in between rain and sun and rain, and everybody showed up just to come help. You know, there's something to be said for people that are just like, you know what, we love this place so much, we're coming in the rain. We don't care what the weather is. And it's great to have people show up, you know. Some of the things that people on the right there do traditional Aztec dancing over at Cal Poly, and they came by, I think it was last weekend, to say, hey, we want to start a class here too. We want to be practicing in the garden, in the, you know, the land for our people. And so we're really excited to be partnering with them to try and get some Aztec dance in there. So, you know, just bring culture to it. That was great. And I guess this is a thank you. I can answer any questions anybody has on anything.
About the digital participant.
Yeah.
That it's really been so cool watching that event develop the last couple of years from 2020 at a virtual event, but Centro del Pueblo is really excited to take on that. And more that's been a part of local bagels really. And this last year it was so cool having the friend downstairs again, the house arts and Centro del Pueblo taking point on that. And then those bagels were able to realize their vision of having food that they gave to everybody. And yes, Azteca, we're going to go to Humboldt, and Humboldt Mariachi performed, and Centro del Pueblo and the Central El Centro Academic came and just put on a really beautiful event. And it was fun to just be like the next street, you have the table type of person. But it was such a beautiful event. I bet that's going to, it grew just by everything during COVID, and it's really, so if everyone's interested in sort of seeing that, being part of that this year, I'm sure it'll be.
Oh yeah, we love working with Los Bagels. They've been doing a Dia de los Muertos for a long time, and you know, the community's more involved now. You know, after the passage of the sanctuary law, it gave a lot of people a sense of security as long as they knew about it, because it showed not that it passed, that it was a law, but it showed that the community cared enough to vote. You know, it's the hardest thing to work all year. We were out there in the streets gathering signatures for months in the rain, just like this year. You know, it's just raining, real rainy. And to, in the end, have to gather all the signatures, bring it to the Department of Elections to have her say, you did it. Like, you know, this never happens in Humboldt where they get enough signatures. So yeah, we did it. And then the hard part was to depend not on themselves because they can't vote, but to depend on the community that they had to believe that it was going to happen. And so when it passed, it was a really kind of watershed moment for the community to know that the community cares. And yes, the Dia de los Muertos has grown the last couple of years for sure. I mean, the one here is, you know, we walked all the way across town. We had the big puppets and
That's a procession, right, from the garden to Los Bagels.
Yeah, well, they actually started up at Cal Poly, and they came all the way down. So it was nice. It was a big turnout. And that was okay. Yeah, so that was good. Eureka is also been putting one on that's quite large. Just in Old Town, they're trying to do the revitalization of Old Town, so that's nice that they're including that. Along with, they did one for the Pacific Islander and Asian community as well, which I really like that. They brought the drummers out and stuff. It was,
You mentioned possible site in Eureka. Do you have any properties in mind?
well, I was talking with the city manager and the mayor. We have an informal agreement right now. We're trying to normalize by the end of the month for Cesar Chavez Day. There's Cesar Chavez Park in, I think it's 14th and F and 14th and E. It's also called not Hiller Park. It also has another name. Hammond Park. Yeah, that's it. But it's just real small. He just said, hey, we have a couple of garden beds. If you guys would love to paint them and take care of them, and you guys can have a little gathering spot there. We were like, sure. But with the mayor, she has been a little more proactive, and she wants to do something a little bigger, find an empty lot and possibly lease it so we could have, like a bigger space, something like, a quarter of the block. Or so she said pretty much just go find the lots and we'll try to talk to the owners and see about leasing it for a garden. So that might be a little more long-term kind of thing to set up, because we'd have to coordinate getting more people to help maintain the garden, probably setting up water systems. And it was a lot easier here. It was just abandoned, overrun. So in 2021, we just spent a lot of time cleaning up, getting all the trash out, getting all them old mattresses, and making it a beautiful space again. So we also have a small greenhouse in Lolita that we use for seeds and starts to kind of grow things up during the winter, so that we have some things to plant. We're planning on reopening the garden sometime in April, or maybe possibly the end of the month. We'll do a big planting probably around then. If anybody wants to come for planting, that's always a fun day. We're going to be painting the beds, so that'll be nice. Anything else? No, that's it. Any other questions?
What happens, because there's like various different launches, and so do people take responsibility for maintaining the plunge, or like how do you determine who works where and who gets what food and some of those sorts of things?
Well, who gets the food is whoever asks. If a community member needs some food, they want some calabasas or some squashes or tomatoes or tomatillos. If they come and ask, we'll give them whatever we have. For the most part, it's volunteers. You come, you volunteer a day or two, and then you're welcome to take the veggies at the end of the day. We usually pick them on volunteer day and then just disperse them to whoever's there. But we also have the flowers. It's just too much, so we give them away. So that's always nice. Yeah, it's not like we have set little plots or anything for certain community members. We just figured just grow it all, and then whoever asks will get. Yeah.
All right, students ask if they can plant something. How would they do that?
Well, we have our garden master, Adon, who's from Puebla, but he's a farmer. If they were to bring plants in for him, he would say, well, what are they? And, sure, here, put them here. It's, I haven't actually run into a student saying, hey, I want to plant some starts that I have in my apartment, but I'm sure that if they did it, we'd find a place for them.
So are you kind of feel like you're maxed out now? I mean, this issue of like somebody wants to plant some more plants, you think you're kind of maxed out, or is there really more on the surface that you have?
Well, the surface that we have, Adon kind of handles everything. There'll be the corn with the beans and the squash underneath. Kind of that's called the Three Sisters, which is the traditional food group. Which is you have the corn growing, the beans crawl up the corn, and then on the bottom you have the squashes, which keeps the weeds down. And so they all kind of grow together. The space is, we fill it up every year. We're adding some
herbs this year. We were adding some medicinal herbs because a lot of the Latinx community don't have access to healthcare. And so they're going to depend on having these traditional medicines to help them. There's some for, helping with pregnancies and, just medicinal herbs that are good for headaches or back pain, salves that we're going to be planting. The community wants that because they're afraid to go to the doctors. They're afraid to go to the hospitals. That's a real big issue. We are trying to work out a way to, just have the hospitals. Can you guys put up a sign saying, hey, in Spanish, that you're safe here. This is a safe place. We're not going to do anything, just to help them feel a little more comfortable going to the hospital or doctor. But yeah, we're adding in one corner. It's kind of towards the alleyway, 3 or 4 garden beds full of herbs. So there's still room to expand and to change ideas about where to plant and what to plant. So it's just a work in progress. Anything else?
Well, thank you very much. All right, Cairo. Come on up. What do you say? Where'd you go last weekend?
So last weekend was a review weekend for Rotary Exchange, so I'm going, and I'm going to Sweden.
Was that your top choice?
It was my second choice, but my 2 top choices are kind of like interchangeable. I didn't care. So yeah, I'm really happy.
How many students were there that weekend?
I think there was like 13 outbound students, and I don't know how many around 10 more people. And we also it was fun. And we did a workshop telling us stuff about what to expect from next year and how to prepare. So yeah, it was a really fun weekend. So I started learning
Do you know where in Sweden?
No, the Rotary Club in Sweden has to get back to me and tell me where I'll go. What'll happen in the next few weeks or months.
How exciting.
How do you say hello in Swedish?
Oh my gosh, I have no clue.
Well away.
Well, what's the Swedish you've learned then?
Well, I learned how to say yes, ja. But I don't really remember much of what I learned because I didn't really know. I haven't really started my actual language.
Okay. Sorry to put you on the spot.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have a student we hosted here from Sweden, her Sophia, and I'm still in contact with her, so I can contact information. And I'm not sure if it'll be close in proximity to if it'll be going, but she will tell you how it was here.
And what did you bake for us?
Okay, I made yesterday with my grandma. I made peanut butter chocolate chip. They come in bags of a dozen.
How much is the dozen?
And how many bags do you have?
I have like 11 bags. It's kind of few, but I don't know. So
$20?
$20.
I'll take one. I'll take one. go around to Eddie.
Okay.
Amira?
I don't know, what are some of the lessons you learned from preparing?
I learned about, we had like a mindset thing, and learned about what our language program was going to be. And other stuff, you know.
Okay, while we're addressing sweet tooths. Back up here, guys, just briefly. Hey, over here, guys. There's more cookies.
Hello, I'm Amira, and I'm a Girl Scout, and I'm in troop 70181, and cookie season is starting. So, what? Oh yeah, we decorated the plaza for Christmas. That's something that we do. Our troop not this summer, but in summer of 2024, we're going to England and possibly France for like a month during the summer, and we're raising money for that trip. We're about halfway there with fundraising, and so cookie season. So if you want to support one of your local Girl Scout troops, then I can pass around an order. I have an order form, or
You can talk to me.
Yeah.
Or will you bring cookies in later?
I can. Okay, so we get cookies on the 19th, so that's when deliveries start, and I can bring in cookies then. So.
They'll go safe to the home.
Yes. The order form, you just put your name and email and phone, and you don't have to put your address. I can contact you for it, and then the number and what packages you want and how many of them, and
And then Cairo, you're not done yet. Did you sell out?
yes.
Okay. Come on.
So it's our club's tradition to make our inbound and outbound youth exchange students a Paul Harris Fellow, which means that $1,000 has been donated to the Rotary Foundation in your name. And there's your certificate, and I hope you'll wear your pin on your youth exchange jacket when you have one, because other Rotarians will know what it means and they'll be impressed.
In more good news. Oh, Pat's reined in, but AJ got a promotion.
Going anywhere, are you? I'm staying with Uncle Bank. I'm just getting the opportunity to be a commercial banker. So it's awesome. To grow.
John went all the way to San Jose to hear Dustin speak.
It was awesome. He knows a guy.
Just bought him a beer here.
Yeah, so I spent the weekend in San Jose at President-elect Training Seminar, 4 days of giant rooms full of Rotarians, including the President-elect of Rotary International.
Justin Littlefield.
Yes. Actually, Dustin introduced him and did a little video skit with him, so they're tight. So I understand he's
also
pick up the phone and get us some money. Yeah, it was inspirational, and I have lots of ideas. We're gonna do all kinds of stuff. So yeah, it was really neat to talk to other presidents-elect about what they do in their clubs and things that we might be able to do and things that they're going to start doing now. Final Friday was a hit with people I mentioned too. So yeah, I think I've said this before when I've done my road show for the blood bank to other Rotary clubs. I realize how awesome we are. But one of the things that really hit home, listening to the president-elect of Rotary International, is how much of an impact every single one of us has. And he said, and I think really believes, that the entire function of Rotary International comes down to us. That the organization is there to support us, and we support everything that the organization does. By contributing to the foundation, we're funding things that we're not necessarily connected to, but wouldn't happen without us. And they're there to support us in whatever we choose to do for our community. So I really felt connected to everybody in Rotary. So that was my big takeaway from it. Along with how much power I'm gonna have, and I can make
It goes straight to your head. Upcoming events, we have a ball on Friday, tonight, tonight.
Tonight, there's a ball at the Arcata Theater Lounge. Really lovely. It'll be 6 to 8 p.m., maybe a little later. So we're going to go later, and then it says 8, so the band might be playing. But we have Boat Foundation playing tonight, and some announcements about events coming up, thanking volunteers. People have been doing great stuff last year or so, and it'll be and an opportunity to dress up. So.
It's 2 tickets with AMS.
Yeah, if you remember, well, if you remember.
Arcata Main Street.
Yeah, and membership is a sliding scale situation. So we had some people last year do the coupon book that we have. We'll do the coupon book again, but they would redeem their coupon for free individual membership. Then they could keep the ball. We decided those people who did that were so fun. We just gave them tickets this year because they would have done it again. People kind of trying to need love one day. It's a membership party mostly. It's fun.
And yeah.
On the 25th is a very special Adopt a Highway Day, and it's part of Clean California Spring into Action Days all across the state. So we really need to make a good showing out at the Nature Center on Saturday, March 25th, 9 a.m. We'll supply the bags, the pictures, all that good stuff. And later in the afternoon, there's from 12 to 4. Actually, we haven't really set who's going to be at that table. We're going to have a Rotary table highlighting what our, awesome. We're going to have a Rotary table, highlighting the fact that we're out there, part of, keeping our roads and places clean. So yeah, there should be more and more press about this. It would be a good opportunity to get us out there. Oh yes, thank you. It's the community. It's the big. Our area celebration event. It's under the bridge. You know where the big murals are in Eureka? By the small bridge. Yeah, that'll be the big festival area. There'll be booths with organizations from all over, and we'll have a Rotary booth there as well. And music. Library. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of different organizations.
They haven't put out any publicity about it yet. But there's a lot of
They keep
organizations.
saying they're going to, but
A bunch of organizations.
yeah.
Under the bridge.
I'm going to be talking to the guy who's going to this up, but I'm going to kind of pass that on. Like, hey, what can we do to help you out? I will push that actually today. So hopefully we'll hear more about that. Okay. So thanks. So plan on being out there.
Yes.
Cool. Thanks. Good morning, everybody. I'll come up so Dick doesn't have to wave his computer around. Yesterday, I got an opportunity to attend a meeting at College of the Redwoods on behalf of our vocational services department. And it was a pilot start program that they are doing down there to do some mentoring for some of their students. This is being led up by our good friend Jim Ritter, who we all know and know organizes things like this very well. So in this pilot program, there were students that were nominated by their professors or teachers to come and participate. And yesterday, there's going to be meetings every week on this, but yesterday was brainstorming because he wanted to get the information from him, from all the students, as to what they would be interested in doing. So out of that came interest in field trips, visits. And so along with that, they brainstormed, and one field trip possibly will be homeless outreach and advocacy or child welfare services. And another one that the kids were interested in, aquaculture, learning about the Humboldt Bay Harbor and or wildlife rehab on the bay. And I'm telling you this because if this is something that you could possibly help with, I have you contact me and I'll put you in touch with them. They also want to do field trips up to Cal Poly, and the interest that came forward on that was in possibly the botany program and or Native American Studies or arts and ceramics. So there's another meeting, and they're going to be kind of formulating all their ideas. And then out of that too, there are mentorship opportunities, and each one of the students, of which there were 8 or 10 for this pilot program opening, wildlife rehabilitation or grant processes, computer information systems and programming, event planning, community events. Somebody was very interested in ecology field researcher, environmental center kind of thing, and or community organizer, child welfare services, behavioral health, United Indian Health, construction projects and so forth. There's one student that is in the program there. Again, child protective services. So if anybody is available or interested, and I'm not going to be able to attend the next meeting, but Jim will keep me apprised as to what it gets kind of boiled down to, and you're interested in jumping in and helping out with this vocational project, just contact me and I'll let you know what's going on. So anyway, thank you.
Bob, before you go, can you, speaking of boiling down, can you boil that down into an email for us?
Oh, sure.
That way we'll all know.
Yeah.
Contact you.
Put it in the newsletter and so forth.
Yeah.
Great. Cool. Okay, I'll do it.
Thank you.
So it was really cool to watch this. DEI and community service and Terry all got together over the week and are funding or contributing towards this Pan Fest. And the 25th, Saturday and Sunday, right? Go watch them out at Blue Lake. Right? Anything you want to add? Teaching young children how to Pan Fest.
I'll send the specifics again to you with the times and whatnot, but they're really fun. And Jesse Jonathan, who is the kind of the coordinator of all this, is a great guy. He loves pan music. He loves showing kids. He loves sharing it. He just went to St. Lucia or someplace for an intensive festival and learning. So anyway, he's a dedicated guy.
And it's a fellowship opportunity for us, right? Maybe we could carpool.
Maybe we could just forward the poster because it has all the dates. I mean, all the times.
I tried to get it on here. It wouldn't.
It wouldn't open?
Oh, no, it wouldn't fit.
And it's really cute poster, and we're on it, our logo, our club logo. So sweet.
Yeah, good job, guys. Ian, do you want to talk about?
So as we talked about at our last meeting, the past presidents group forms kind of an ad hoc committee on behalf of the club to vet out and nominate potential future presidents and such. And I love the inspiration you brought into the room. That was a great segue for what we're doing here. So last week we asked those in attendance to think about possible candidates for a 2024-25 presidency. I asked you to reach out to a board member. I haven't heard anybody. So first, before we announce our choice, has anybody thought of a candidate that they would like to put forth on behalf of the club? And it's okay if there aren't. We've got a great candidate. Been with the club over 25 years. This is in their 26th year. And I'd like to welcome Brandy Easter. all the past presidents and all our membership. We're honored that Brandy has carefully decided to step into this role. Lots of consideration, lots of questions. I know she's spoken with many of us in the club about this and is feeling, I feel a little nervous that they're still.
I still don't know
Talk
what
to
I'm
John.
committed to.
He's got all the new energy you need. But so what happens in this process is a month from now at our next meeting, plus a few days probably, we will vote as a club to elect Brandy on our ballot as our president nominee elect.
Point of order.
Again?
Yes.
We will.
No, we are not, and I want to make this really clear. I love Brooke. I love Brooke. I love Brandy.
Speaking to
Really, I
the
love
computer.
Brandy a little too much. I love Brandy, and I fully expect her to be elected at that election, but it is not, absolutely, it is not a done deal. Every one of you has the right and the opportunity to nominate someone for this position. Really important that we make that distinction. That is what democracy is. That's not, we're not a smoke-filled room. We don't even know what kind of smoke that we're eating here in Arcata. But it's not a situation where the past presidents have said, you know, we have the power to create, to put this person in this position. But what we have done is we've vetted the people we know. And we have an amazing list. We have an amazing group of people. Just about everybody in this room in this club and do a fantastic job with. And I hope you will all consider doing that at some point in your lifetime. But having said that, unless somebody takes me a hell of a lot of money. I just wanted to.
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah.
Excellent point. The other thing we will have on that same ballot at the month out meeting is we had an appointee to our board. Where's Bob? Bob's quietly sitting in the back wondering if we're going to keep. So he will also be on the ballot as a potential future board member for the year that John served as president. And just like Dick explained, that is also an open field. So if there's somebody who's interested in or wants to nominate somebody, please talk to them before you nominate them for consideration to the board. No surprise, I want you to be on the board. But we do expect that Bob will agree to be on that ballot and be considered for that in about a month. So thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Maggie has an announcement.
Hi, everybody. I know the meeting's about to end. Wanted to offer you another opportunity to have impact and fellowship at the same time. We're looking at getting together at the Hatchet House next week. And if you're good at this, you'll have impact. If you're not, then it will be fun anyway. But I wanted to see how many people might be interested on Wednesday, the 22nd, so not this coming week, but the week after. If we can get a sense of how many people might be interested in doing that, I can reserve some, what are they called them? Those aisles, not aisles, but you know, the things that you stand in and you throw hatchets at. So if there's anybody who's interested in doing that, we'll put it together. It's going to be hosted. We'll pay, the club will pay for the lanes. Thank you. That's the word. Yeah, I hope people are interested in doing that. I'm going to try to send out a reminder with DACDB, which maybe I can send things out. I can't get anything from still, but I can hopefully send it out to you. So can I see, are there people interested in doing this? I saw John, you raised your hand. Anybody else?
2 hands.
Yeah, and I know Ashley and Susan will probably be there to bet, and we will lose all our money with them. But But yeah, okay, I'll put the information out if people want to do it. It's low key, so we'll put it together. And that's it. Thank you, everyone. Oh, I'm not there because I'm trying to go to Africa in a couple of weeks, and I'm starting to think I should not breathe anyone else's air. Thanks.
Keep it. Thank you.
Can I make a quick announcement, Ms. Vanessa? So last night I welcomed 5 amazing mariachi women from Southern California to my upstairs apartment. And they are performing this weekend. They're up at Cal Poly Humboldt today, and then they'll be performing this weekend at the Playhouse in Arcata. It's an 8 o'clock show on Saturday night. And Jackie told me that there are tickets available, and it's an all-female mariachi group that's here, the Mariachi Linda Mexicanas. And so if you're looking for something interesting to do, I know Friday night is this Arcata Main Street event, and Saturday night. Yes, exactly, right? So anyway, 8 o'clock on Saturday night, so at the Playhouse. Thank you.
And then a really fast wrap.
Yeah, really fast.
All right, one of blue. The blue one is 9872. 9872 blue. Blue 9872.
Going once, going twice.
9872. Hey. I'm away. Oh, hold on, I gotta get that cracks me up. Use balls. It goes to Cairo. Okay, $5. And then the other ticket is a red one.
Yay!
It is 4424. 4424. Yay. Wow, that was a nice ticket purchase.
Oh.
All right. Okay.
What's the amount?
$7,000. I could be wrong.
You know what the winning amount is? It's written on this really clever envelope right here.
All right, please stay and help pack backpacks. Any other announcements? Excuse me, I have to sneeze. Okay.